Adam Weiner for FanSided here with Cristo Fernández today on behalf of his work with State Farm and the new commercial Bundle is Life ahead of the 2024 NFL season. Cristo, thank you so much for joining me. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the campaign. Was it tougher kicking the football-shaped soccer ball than a normal soccer ball? I mean, how was your experience on set?
Yeah, thank you, Adam, and thank you to everyone listening. And you're asking the right question. The first good question. That ball looks crazy, right?
It looked crazy. That my
It
first
looks
thought was, how
crazy, and it
crazy
was
was it?
crazier to be able to when they first showed me the ball, and then they told me you're gonna do this, that, and this. I was like, are you what? So yeah, it was a good challenge to have. And I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad my football skills are still there. And that also brings me to my favorite Patrick Mahomes moment, which is also one of the cool stuff about our campaign. For me, it was an honor to meet him. Also, Kevin from who plays Jake from State Farm. He was the nicest guy, but I don't think I think the same reaction you had and the same reaction I had with the ball, Patrick had it too. He was like, "What is this?" And then when they told him he's gonna do this, that, and that, he was like, "No." And then he threw me the ball, and then I did it live in front of him, and then I kept doing those skills, and then he told me, "Dude, that's impressive." And then he gave me like a high five and a handshake, and I take that coming from such a legend like him, and that was a really cool stuff with the ball and with Patrick, and probably the highlight of my campaign.
Yeah, that's gotta feel good to hear that from Patrick. Any anything else you can tell us about the State Farm campaign? How did you get involved, and do you have any other big plans for the NFL season with State Farm?
Yeah, I well, yeah, the approach happened a couple of months ago this year, and then the first thing I heard was that I was gonna have the opportunity to play Dani Rojas, and anything that involves the Ted Lasso world or to be there, I'm in. I'm 100% in, and then I saw all the commercial State Farm has done, and I think they're always memorable, and I think now with the NFL start, I think it's a perfect time to get this out. And my passion for football soccer has always existed and will always be. American football has grown on me since 2019, so it's recent. But I think in the spirit of what State Farm is, they like to bundle things, right? So they managed to bundle my passion for football soccer and my passion for American football, and we created probably a new unique sport with this ball. And whether I'm scoring a goal or making a point, I think that's up to the fans to decide.
Of course. Yeah, we'll let them make that choice. You brought up a good point, a question that I had. You mentioned that you've been an NFL fan since maybe 2019. How did your fandom for the NFL develop? Do you have a favorite team, or are you just sort of getting used to the sport and getting into it?
No, like my first American football game was with the Ted Lasso gang with my friends, and we were in London at the Wembley Stadium, and it was memorable. It was cool. It was fun, and then I started to know more about the game. And since last year, I'm spending my time between Guadalajara, Mexico, and Los Angeles, and because of that, I've gone to, I think probably the team I've seen the most has been the Chargers of Los Angeles. So maybe they've grown on me, and I have many friends who have been in the sport longer than me, and they are more, lots of them are 49ers from San Francisco fans. But then I have a dilemma because now that I met Patrick Mahomes and he's such a cool dude, and I saw him last year at the Super Bowl winning the Super Bowl. The Kansas City is in my top three.
I think a lot of fans have that same dilemma. They're like, I want to hate the Chiefs, but man, he's just so good. Like, what's the point? So I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like you're in the same boat as a lot of us.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Yes, that's normal. What about you obviously have to talk about Ted Lasso. Uh, you got into the NFL, you watched your first game with your Ted Lasso crew. What has starring in Ted Lasso changed the way that you watch professional soccer and international soccer at all? Do you have a different relationship to watching international, football now that you're sort of known as this, icon of football, or have any Premier League teams rolled out the red carpet for you, or is it, same as ever, you could still be a fan?
No, well, I mean, I've practiced the sport since I was a kid,
Hmm.
and I've always been a fan. But then when I had my injuries, I recovered from them, tried to get back, then discover new passions. But football was still there in my heart. But in a way, I tried to get away from it. So for many years, I just completely kind of like deleted it from my head and just move on with my new passions. And Ted Lasso brought me back my love for football and my passion, and that's another reason to be grateful for Ted Lasso. They brought my passion for the game that I just once you have football in your life, you will always have it with you. And no, I still go to the stadium with my friends. On the contrary, I became more of a fan, and yeah, like I would have never imagined that uh, now being an actor and a filmmaker will have through football soccer made me an icon in the football soccer world or in the sports world. And I think that is to say that you never know how life is gonna work out. And I I would have never imagined that the worst thing that happened to me, which was breaking my knee or having these two injuries in my knees, would have ended up being the best thing that happened to me because now I am where I am because of that. So for anyone out there that has a dream or is working hard, it's all about learning from your failures and embracing the mistakes, and you always learn from those things, and yeah, hard work, discipline, that all comes from my life in the sports, and that's what makes me the actor and the filmmaker I I think I am. I don't know. I just believe in repetition and
Yeah.
discipline.
If you dropped a football as life on me there. Basically, it sounds like you operate by the same motto as your character, pretty much. Like, does that help guide your
Yes,
life?
we're the same guy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Um, you
Yes.
you you mentioned growing up playing the sport, so you have a lot of experience in locker rooms, and you mentioned, your friends, your Ted Lasso friends, and the camaraderie that you guys have. Um, d does your cast, does that feel like the soccer locker rooms you grew up in? Like, what are the similarities, differences between your castmates and your teammates from back in the day?
No, it's very similar, right? And I think in a way, Jason, I think that he comes from the basketball world. He played basketball, probably now and he's very good, and he was lots of times in the locker rooms, and that camaraderie that you see. First of all, the camaraderie and the friendship that you see in the show is what you see in real life. We became a family and friends, and we've all grown together. And I think that was one of the key things for Jason, Brendan, and Joe, and to create that vibe on set. And so I think it's very, yeah, I've lived that when I was in the locker rooms in my glory days playing football. And I think it is real. So I think it feels real because it's real.
Good. And hey, that's what every fan wants to hear. I feel like I just made a lot of fans of Ted Lasso's days. And we're also hearing rumors of a potential surprise season four. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to
Wait,
wink.
what?
I'm not going to ask you to wink twice if it's true, but what would it mean to you to maybe get a chance to play Danny again, to get back in the room with those guys?
Yeah, I read the article too. More than an actor and someone who was part of the this journey, I am a fan. Um, I've said it, and I think it's true. I think Ted Lasso has become something bigger than us. Whatever this next chapter in it is, I'm sure Jason, Brendan, Joe, Bill, the writers, who are the creators, will know what's best, and I will 100% support it. And whether, like as I told you, I think at the beginning of this interview, like the one of the things that really I felt passionate about this campaign and this commercial we did with State Farm is the fact that I could play Dani Rojas. So anytime I am thrown at the opportunity of being part of a Ted Lasso world or playing Dani Rojas, I am 100% in. And yeah, I love Ted Lasso. I think has taught me that what you put out there can mean so much to so many people. And as a creator and filmmaker, I'm trying to do the same with my film company, Spectrum X Films, and it's important to have cool stuff, positive stuff, and again, just back to our campaign, I think one of the important messages is the being kind to each other and caring about each other, and I think State Farm has that, Ted Lasso has that, and you bundle the two things, and you have a crazy football, soccer with American football ball that I hope people who watch our campaign like. So yeah, that's been good.
It's a perfect fit. I will wrap right here. I mean, you are going to see if you're watching the Chargers, if you're watching the 49ers, if you're trying to get into American football this year, maybe watch Patrick Mahomes, you're going to see yourself a lot. I mean, this commercial is going to be huge. How does it feel for you? Are you able to watch yourself or when you watch yourself on TV, are you sort of like, oh, turn it off. Like, I don't want to watch myself. How are you watching your own performances?
Yeah, no, you that's a valid question. It's a good question because I've run into so many actors or actresses that say that they don't like to watch themselves. And it's not that I like to watch myself, of course not. But I've learned so much as an actor watching myself because I know what works for next occasions or things like that, just from that perspective. But also to me, it's been so hard, and to get where I am, it hasn't been easy. So I celebrate every single time I can with, and I watch the things I do with my family and my friends, and I don't mind watching myself. On the contrary, I celebrate it because I know it hasn't been easy. It's been a long journey, and and yeah, but it's gonna be crazy. I hope people like this campaign, and I'm proud of it. I think it's a great campaign, and I'm grateful with all the Ted Lasso fans, the with State Farm for the opportunity, and with Jake Simansky, the director, Patrick Mahomes, and Kevin, and everyone. The cast and crew, they were all cool.
Well, we can't wait to see what comes of this. I don't know if have you seen Patrick Mahomes' coach, Andy Reid? He's basically like the NFL Ted Lasso. I don't know if you're
Ah,
familiar
yeah.
with him. Yeah, but either way, I think if you ask a lot of Americans who's the coach you most want to play for, they're probably going to say either Andy Reid or Ted Lasso himself. So you're in good hands.
Ah, okay, that's cool. So I need to meet Andy.
Yeah,
I saw
I
his
think
commercial, but I haven't met him in person. So
okay, good. I think you'd really hit it off. Hopefully that's what comes next. Cristo Fernandez, thank you so much for joining me today.
thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Adam.